welcome to Network with Law Students LLC. I'm so sorry that we weren't able to go live, but we're having trouble with YouTube. We let them know and they can't get back to us within 24 hours. So I passed the bar, the February 2020 bar, but a lot of my friends didn't. So what we're going to do is we're going to talk to attorney Leona Krasner, who has agreed to help us with this. Ms. Krasner is from Brooklyn, New York, and she founded her own law firm in 2018. And she has her JD from Washington and Lee and her MBA from Stern School of Business. And after working as an assistant attorney general of New York's Litigation Bureau, she was the senior regional director for Kaplan Bar Review. And could you tell us what you do now?
Absolutely. So my day job is managing partner of Krasner Law, where we help people in New York and New Jersey get married and stop being married. And then evenings and weekends, I'm still working with students to either help them get into law school or to help them pass the bar exam.
Awesome. So how does your business work? Like, how can you help someone taking the bar the second time around?
So what I do is a couple things. First is creating a personalized study plan that's unique to every single student. Okay, so just because they went through all the steps or maybe didn't go through all the steps that were required of them in a bar review course or opted to go at it by themselves, we figure out how they did, where we really need to dive deep, and then we create this comprehensive study plan for them. And so that's one portion. And then another portion is the confidence building. At the end of the day, the bar exam is just a test. And just as, especially New Yorkers, usually need to take the road test a couple times before they're successful and can drive the car,
Right.
Same thing with the bar exam.
Right, definitely. So would you recommend investing in a bar prep program?
I would recommend that just because bar prep programs are comprehensive. They come with the questions, they come with the material, they come with the essays, and often essay review by bar attorneys. They come with the multiple choice questions. So that's all sort of gift wrapped for you with a bow, and it's sort of, here you go. Right. Some students opt not to take bar review courses, and those folks who can really bang it out themselves for, 8 hours a day, 5+ days a week.
Yeah.
If they're able to do that and they know that they can do that, power to them. Very often they don't need tutelage or, guidance in that way, but often when someone lets me know that they tried to go at it alone, that's because they're looking to maybe hire me and be successful next time.
Right. So there's so many different bar prep programs out there. How do you choose one?
So it's a very sort of personalized decision. I would say any bar prep course is better than no bar prep course. Right. However, I would caution against going on, say, Groupon to purchase your bar review course. My advice would be to dive deep. Look at what you're getting. Compare the different bar review courses. You want to make sure that you're getting questions that are as close to those on the exam as possible. You want to make sure that you're getting tons of questions as opposed to only a few. You want to know whether the essays that you're drafting, that you're writing, are actually going to be reviewed by somebody, and if so, how many? Is there a cap? Are there practice exams for you to take? What's the structure of the course? Is there a live or kind of a live online portion? Is that something that's useful for you? Mm-hmm. What are the resources that they're giving you? What do you do if you got a question? Is there somebody you can ask who will actually be there to answer those questions for you? And then, of course, how much does this cost? And bear in mind, bar review is not cheap, but at the same time, better to maybe consider perhaps paying a little bit more today than having to retake another day.
Right. With the cost, though, just to add to that, to the people that are listening, there are some bar prep programs that give you a price break if you are public interest. I was public interest and got a significant discount. So just keep that in mind and do your research as to which ones. I know Barbary does. I'm not sure about the other ones.
And all of the companies that visit law schools tend to offer some sort of public interest scholarship.
Great. So someone told me that you shouldn't practice questions until you study the material, otherwise it could demoralize you. Is that correct?
That's a great question, and I hear it a lot.
Yeah.
So 2 things that are really, really important when you're studying are 1, learning, but 2, practice. And so once a student gets into his or her head that they ought to keep the practice until they know it, they're never going to get there. They might get there a couple weeks before the exam, but guess what? All the other students have been practicing questions the entire time. They've been practicing the essays and the MPTs, the multiple choice this entire time. And let me tell you, those multiple choice questions are doozies. They're basically trick questions. So the more you get under your belt early, the better you're going to be scoring by the end. My advice is use the questions to reinforce what you just learned. So say you just dove into torts and you just covered intentional torts. Go ahead and pop in and do a quiz on intentional tort MBE questions. And don't treat the tests as though we're in 5th grade and need to get the 100%. Keep in mind for the bar exam, we're shooting for 75. You get a 75% on those questions, that means you passed. We're not looking for the A+, and a higher score on the bar exam, frankly, is meaningless. All right, so get that practice in earlier as opposed to waiting until the perfect day, because let me tell you, that perfect day will never come.
Right. Definitely true. So should a person studying for the bar have a dedicated study space, or should they vary it? And what should that space look like?
Great questions. All right, so first one is, should there be a dedicated study space? One or more? I would say yes. And please, 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 don't do your studying in bed. Your bed should be for sleeping, okay? It's going to get harder and harder to sleep for most people during the studying process because it's stressful. No need to begin to associate your bed with your study area. So I would recommend, if at all possible, have some sort of study space at home and clear it out. So if it's a place where it's normally used for something else, clear that out. Make sure that there aren't distractions there and everything that's near you is only to help you study. Move the clutter. Put the clutter on the floor. Push it further down the table if you need to. Just get that clutter away. And if you do need to kind of vary it up because you're feeling a little stir crazy, absolutely. If we are post-pandemic and there's a coffee shop near you that's allowing sit-downs, then go and consider bringing your headphones and doing some studying in there. It's nice weather outside. Grab some flashcards or grab an outline and head to the park and maybe sanitize that bench first, okay?
Right.
But absolutely consider varying it up, but don't vary it up by sitting on the couch or sitting on the bed because those will not be helpful.
Right. So I heard that bar prep should be treated like a job. What should someone's daily schedule look like?
That is a fabulous question. I would absolutely recommend that people treat it like a job because otherwise it's very tempting to mess around for, 6 hours, then study maybe for 1 or 2. And well, there went the day. And so bar exam is a marathon, not a sprint. So many people wait until the last minute. I'm sorry to say, those people usually aren't very successful, right? So making sure to get in at least 6 to 8 hours every single day, and weekends shouldn't just be free time. Cut it back, do 4 to 6 hours, but still do some studying. And each day should include, or each, work day, Monday to Friday should include the learning piece. And you're learning not just to understand, but also to memorize. What I see a lot is students listen to all the lecture, write down all the stuff, even make their outlines, but very little of it actually stuck. So the purpose of the learning piece should not just be for understanding, but for memorizing. And what are you memorizing? Not each and every single word. That's impossible or highly improbable, right? We're looking to memorize those causes of actions and those elements so you can literally rattle them off. Okay, and so then you also want to be practicing. I recommend knocking out some MBE questions every single day relating to what you just learned and also everything you've covered so far. So maybe a smaller quiz on what you just studied and then a bigger quiz on everything sort of inclusive so far. And then the most important part isn't even doing the questions, it's the review. I highly recommend that you review the explanation to every single question, whether you got it right or wrong. But hey, Leona, I got it right. Well, yes, doesn't mean you knew what you were talking about. Could have been a fabulous guess, could have gotten it right, and you may have gotten it right for the wrong reason. So make sure you go in there, read the explanations. Then, if at all possible, knock out an essay or an MPT. When it comes to essays, you want to try to do these closed book. And I want the first couple to be terrible, because I promise you're going to get better and better and better the more you practice, okay? And you want to be submitting these essays for grading. Even if they're god awful, that's okay. That's how you learn. And the essay graders are going to be able to help you and help you improve, okay? And then finally, you want to do a review of everything you've covered so far. So pop back through 1 or 2 or 3 subjects that you've learned so far and review. Do you remember those causes of action? Can you do a little bit of practice to show that you've still got it? Because you don't want to lose it. Those are my recommendations each day.
Definitely true. So studying so much for the bar exam, how much time and effort as well as sacrifices that it takes only to fail can be demoralizing. What are some steps that you suggest getting back up on that proverbial horse?
Okay. So first, my recommendation is to feel the feelings. Feel the feelings, truly. It sucks. It sucks for a lot of students who I've worked with. It's a not nice feeling, but what's great is you get to go at it again. And so, much like failing a road test, keep on going at it, but don't keep going at it the same way. Clearly something you did that first time around or that previous time around didn't work. So my advice is speak with somebody who's an expert. Either reach out to somebody at the bar review company where you studied last time, or somebody you know in the bar review space, or even a professor. Reach out to them and see if you can chat about it. And then make a resolution. Decide for yourself that this time you are going to do it. Say 9/10 of passing the bar exam is confidence. And I've seen people who really, really know their stuff, like truly know their stuff, who went in there and flat out were like, well, I know it's A, but I'm going to pick C, and well, it turned out to be A. And they failed their way through the bar exam, even though they knew the right answers. Don't let that be you. Confidence is key. Tell yourself this time is it. Last time was just practice. It was a practice run, so I can succeed this time. Let me tell you, employers never ask how many times you take the bar exam.
Oh, true. Nobody does.
Nobody does. Literally nobody asks that question. Question is, are you barred, yes or no? And when the answer is yes, nobody asks you what you got.
Right.
They don't care. It doesn't matter the score that you got. You passed the thing. Check.
Yeah.
So let's pass the bar exam and let's move on with your life.
Right.
Also, another recommendation I've got is pick a goal beyond the bar exam. What are you going to knock out once you've already got this thing? And that way, looking longer term ahead means you're not fixating so much on whether or not you're going to pass this test. It's more of a, well, of course I'm going to pass it because I need to get on to that next thing.
Right. Would any of your advice differ if it's somebody taking the bar exam for the 3rd time or beyond?
I've worked with students who have been unsuccessful multiple times, sometimes a staggering number of times, and sometimes that happens with other exams too, right? But all that matters is when getting that confidence up, right? You were able to pass law school. I get that, JD, okay? And that was hard. You got through it. You can absolutely take and pass this test. We just need to find a personalized solution that works for you and get that confidence back up. I'd say those 2 are the biggest things.
Right. So how can people get in touch with you for help with bar prep?
I would love to chat. Feel free to give me a call at 917-589-6519, or send me an email at Leona Krasner, that's LeonaKrasner @gmail.com.
Awesome. Thank you so much for doing this. And again, sorry guys that it wasn't on the live, and we're going to work on that and maybe do a second round. Are you willing?
Absolutely.
Subscribe to our new YouTube channel. It's free. Networking for Law Students LLC. Visit our website, networkingforlawstudents.com. We're on Instagram. It's Networking for Law Students 1, and Facebook is Networking for Law Students. Be sure to check out our courses on thinkific.com. We have a new and totally free study skills course that can be used for both law school exams and the bar exam.